Now we find the group awake, wary of the sounds of breaking twigs getting closer and closer, coming from the direction of the cave. And the sound of the twigs have also made their way behind the party too. They are surrounded. Left with little choice, they have leapt up to their feet, ready for battle. Thoric, you see 3 figures leap up at you, weapons at the ready, about to leap at you.
He raises his shield above his head. What? By the gods, what are you doing? You scared me half to death.
Oh, Thoric, it is you!
You start to hear the pulling sound of the string of a bow coming from the direction of the cave, and I would like you all to roll initiative, please. You feel the gush as a arrow flies through the air at you, Sergei, and you hear the pew of the arrow as it just kind of gashes just the side of your arm.
I'm dead.
You're down?
Yeah.
Whoa!
I only had 3
fell off of the
HP because I
tree.
fell out the tree.
Wow.
I slow his fall. I'm just like, Sergei!
Thoric!
Sergei, I need you to make a death saving throw, please.
That's a 5.
Oh, yeah. Sergei, come on.
I grab Saga's shoulder and just sort of vaguely shove her in that direction. Like, just, they're over there. I'll get some light going in a bit. 1 sec. And I'd grab onto Sergei and I just run my hands with the rings of my goddess over his wounds, and I cast Cure Wounds at level 1.
The goblin creatures, you hear them splashing as they wade through the stream. Thoric, you see them run into the cave mouth.
If we stop now, they'll just kill us in our sleep.
We need a
We've got
plan.
Cart. No, it's not everyone's style to back down, but we've done ourselves proud. We've scared them off. We've not lost this fight. Live to fight another day. I can't, my goddess only gives me so much of her blessings, and I'm not sure I'll be able to help you if anything goes wrong.
As much as I want to go into the cave, I'd rather not wander into the lion's den just yet.
Back away from the cave, still very, very guarded, and you go into the darkness in the direction that you came from, making your way back to Gundren's cart of supplies. Following your rather bad experience at the mouth of the cave, you retreat back into the woods in the dead of night. Are you using any torches at this point, or are you?
I'm going to keep the light on the shield.
Oh, of course, you've got the light on the shield.
For
yes,
these
well.
3, because it's just
Yeah. So
I have a
you
torch.
head back down the trail that you had followed to get here, dodging any traps that you hadn't yet triggered, knowing where they are, of course. And you make your way back to the cart, which Thoric has managed to deftly hide. How have you hidden said cart, Thoric?
Well, I've kind of got it's under a little. There's a little uprooted big tree where the roots are sort of overhanging it. I've kind of wedged it in there, got the horse sort of all nice and tucked in, and then tried to just shove some ferns over most of it, just kind of cover it in foliage, I guess.
He knitted
Okay.
a tarpaulin of leaves.
A ghillie suit for the cards.
Yeah, so you show them the card and how you've hid it. It looks to be untouched in your time away from it, which is good. It doesn't seem to have been disturbed, doesn't seem to have been found in any way. Is there anything you'd like to do at this point?
We need rest. We need to find some place to sleep.
Yes, please. I would like
Aye.
that.
Do you want to stay here and take our chances, or do you want to move further off up the road?
You've already made a pretty good hiding place at the cart.
I guess trying to go travel at night would probably be more problematic. So
It's settled then. We stay here.
Okay. So you set up camp. How are you looking on supplies and things
Question.
in terms of food and drink and stuff?
fine for rations.
Mhm.
Still got. We've used 1 day's worth, so it'll definitely be 2 days now.
I only
I've
had
got-
1 day's worth of rations, and I don't know if I've used them or not.
I have 1 day's worth left.
Yeah, same.
1 day's worth left.
Well, I've clicked on it
And,
on D&D Beyond because you get 10 as standard in like your adventuring gear. So when you click on it, it then says rations 1 day, and then it has a quantity, and I had a quantity.
Oh,
of
actually,
10.
I've got 9 days rations. We're fine.
Yeah,
Oh, I've got
Okay.
5.
Mine
Right.
we
specifically
should all have.
it's weird because mine specifically says 1 day.
Yeah, so that's the type of ration, a 1 day ration.
Oh,
Press on it.
You click on it, it should
If
say
you
quantity.
click on it.
Or it says it.
oh, 10.
Beautiful. So
Sorry.
unless you guys are going to be eating anything else that you might have in your supplies, it might be wise to reduce that
Oh,
by
we've got
a day. at
we've
this
got
point.
honey cake still.
Yes,
but-
we do.
Oh.
Depends.
Well, that's
I'll still
entirely up
take
to you
some-
guys how you want to distribute or consume whatever.
I've got 4 loaves left, so I'm just gonna give a loaf each to everyone, and because that's not gonna last forever necessarily,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take that off.
I'm going to eat the loaf and keep the rations.
Or shall I?
Okay. Now, how's the? I'm probably going to be really kind to you all now, but how's the water situation?
I have 1 full water skin left.
Okay. How's everybody
So,
else on the water
one-
situation?
I have a water skin.
Yeah, this one's a bit weird because it just says water skin and then quantity 1. I don't know how to track.
Yeah.
4
So
pints of liquid, yeah.
yeah. So essentially, you're. For the sake of ease, I'm going to say that you need to have a water skin of water a day. It's probably not strictly true if you look at the rules, but just for sake of ease, you need to at least have a water skin a day. So I'm going to be kind and just let's assume that your water skins are full for this day. So they're going to need to be refilled in the
Tomorrow.
next day.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're going to risk a exhaustion level.
It's
Unless of course you end up going to a tavern, for example, and drinking something there, but in the wilderness at least.
Well, there's a stream by the cave. We could refill our water skins there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to assume for now. That you will have filled them up by the stream, because you had a water source there.
It's been raining as well, hasn't it? So we could always, like, if there's some big leaves, we could maybe get some.
Every
Yeah.
leaf for me is quite big.
Essentially, in some way, shape, or form, you're going to probably have to do a survival
Yes. Yeah.
skill check in some way.
But
to get...
that's. I think we need sleep.
But
first.
yes, I
Yeah.
think
Yes,
so.
please.
So let's assume your water's gone for the day. You've eaten for the day and adjust your inventories accordingly, and then take your long rest. I think. Is there anything you'd like to say to each other or do aside from just resting up at this point?
I'd like to keep watch for
Sure.
my
Yeah.
for that bit and organize a watch for the evening.
Okay. Any particular order?
I'm happy to take first or second watch because I'm unharmed.
I can take a watch.
You know how you come back from work and you just kind of flop face first on your
Yeah,
bed?
he just.
He does that on his bedroll. It hurts more than he thought it would. Takes one bludgeoning damage.
Maybe Thoric first, then Saga, then Sergei, then Johan.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So you're just resting up and keeping watch for the night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, do you guys want to do your long rests on your character sheets?
Don't forget, did you use the Bardic Inspiration, Isaac?
I didn't.
It would have just run out.
Yeah,
it will
it
run
would have
out
gone by
now.
now, but
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Long rest again.
There should be a long rest button on the
Right at the
top.
at the top.
Got it.
And then it should basically reset everything. Okay, so night passes, thankfully, uneventfully. You wake up feeling more refreshed. The sky is overcast. There's a bit of a chill in the air. And a bit of dew in the grass around you. The bedrolls are a bit damp. Not the most refreshing morning as such, but certainly fresh on the air. What would you like to do next?
So, are we going into this cave or not?
We should
What
start
was it
back
that
towards the cave.
What was it you were saying about some brooch?
Oh yes, we found this, and I remember Gundring having it at the inn.
Gundren?
Yes.
I know he was meant to be meeting us further on, but did he come at the same time? What?
We reckon he's been taken by the goblins.
Really?
There were drag marks leading to the cave. We can only assume that he's been here and has been taken by them into the cave. He may be dead.
he might have fallen into one of their traps. They left quite a few in
God.
woods.
Well, it's bad luck we've had to leave so much time before going in after him, but I don't think things would have gone our way if we'd have barreled in there recklessly.
You're right.
It is in our interest to slay these goblins. They may attack villagers otherwise, and travellers on the road.
I have no love for the greenskins. So, what's our plan?
I think we'll need your light while we're in there.
I think we should do it quite stealthily, you know?
If they attack at night, they may be resting or preparing during the day. We could catch them off guard.
We would have the... perhaps they won't be expecting us to come back.
And if they ran from us, they're already scared of us.
We should use that to our advantage if needs be.
You can toss me again. For like...
I still have some oil
Certainly
left.
Aye. And they seem to be afraid of your whatever it was that you said.
What was that?
I've picked up a few words of other languages here and there. Essentially, I'll teach it to you if you like. It's Vitu. Vitu. It's celestial for... he realizes that Saga might hit him for saying what it actually means. So
wow.
It's rude. You wouldn't say it in polite company. Should we?
And you have no idea what kind of company I spent the last 16 years in. Let's go.
That sounds like a tale to have over a pint.
Perhaps.
So you pack up your camp and you head in the direction of the cave, feeling much more refreshed, much more ready to face whatever might be within that cave. And you make your way, once again, about 5 miles away from where the ambush that Saga and Johan fought off took place, following that trail until you come to this large cave in the hillside with the shallow stream flowing out, and the thick briars on the right-hand side of the cave mouth, and also the narrow, dry path that leads into the cave, also on the right-hand side of this stream. So, you are currently outside of the cave. What would you like to do next?
Does it look really dark in there?
It looks very dark in there.
Thoric, I think we'll need your light. I know it won't make us stealthy, but...
Or we could use his dark vision. The dwarf can see in the dark, can he?
Yeah,
not?
but we can't. Don't remember.
Are there any
Sorry, he just says the
sentries?
stupidest things sometimes.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be all right. Are there any sentries about?
Perception.
Yes, give me a perception check, please.
Can we also fill up water skins at this?
Yes,
What
good
goodness.
idea.
Good move. Yes.
17.
I'm guessing a water skin can only
8.
hold 1 day's worth of water.
Yes. Just for the sake of ease, we'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 17 from Johan.
8 from Sergey.
I'm going to. No, carry on. Sorry.
From everyone? Perception from everyone?
Because Thoric openly asked the question, so I think you're all going to be looking around.
18.
18, nice.
11.
Okay. So Thoric, Johan, Saga, you can hear coming from the other side of the thickets a little bit of laughter and mutterings, very similar to the sounds that you heard coming from the goblins the night before.
Do we get a sense of numbers?
What did you roll, Thoric?
18.
18. Yeah, I think Thoric and Johan, I think you've probably got a sense that it is a couple of goblins that are there, for sure.
Okay.
Not these
Well.
again.
Might be a nice... we're going to have to deal with them anyway. If we take the sentries out, that means that we won't have anyone coming up behind us. And maybe if we left one alive, we might be able to learn a little bit more about what's going on. Depending
Ooh,
if they
speak
speak our
Goblin?
tongue.
I can be very persuasive.
Don't know if it'll speak common. If not, he just sort of hefts his hammer and just like puts it into his meaty fist. Just like...
You want me to go scout ahead? I am quite small and nimble.
You're small, certainly.
Well, maybe
I
if-
think we should spend less time talking and more time doing something.
The maiden speaks true.
I have a name.
Yes, you mentioned.
You're gonna lose a leg if you keep talking to her like that.
What's the
I
plan?
don't like if I keep climbing up trees. Okay, onwards!
No more trees. You three go ahead, because I make a real racket and I like rattle my chainmail a little.
And I kind of rattle my chainmail as well. Kind of.
Oh. Ah.
I like.
We'll be
You
back.
two go.
We'll be back up.
If it helps,
Lead-
my smell might kind of mix with theirs. They might think I'm one of them.
Oh, just go already.
Okay, I'd like to roll stealth and stealthily approach
Okay. Where are you approaching? Are you approaching the thicket or the cave?
the thicket. I
Okay.
believe.
Give
We'll
me-
stand guard on the cave, like
Okay.
either side.
So if you give me a stealth check then, please, Sergey.
It'll be a 7.
Sergey.
Okay.
We're being really sneaky. Hush now.
So you start to sneak towards the thicket, but you kind of, in your sneakiness, almost forget that you're about to wade through a stream, and just start sloshing water about a little bit. Johan, what are you doing?
I follow him.
Johan, can you keep it down, please?
Okay. Suddenly you hear the mutterings go a little quiet. And there's just silence, an eerie silence.
I didn't get that.
Ooh.
Did you try again?
Thanks, Siri. Ruining my eerie silence. How rude. Yeah. So that you have that silence, and then, much like before, you hear bows being prepped and pulled back. Let's roll initiative.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. We just suck.
That'll be a 3.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sergey.
Mine's
I can't.
8.
Oh,
Dying
wow.
again.
8,
17.
17 for Johan.
Thorix is a 5.
Ay, 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 ay. Okay. Okay.
Sergey gets distracted by a very pretty butterfly.
Like the loading screen in the Lion King game.
Yeah, God, that's a throwback and a half. My
Oh.
goodness.
Showing
Johan,
my
what a
age there.
beautiful
Showing my
mind.
age.
No, we're all with you. We're all with you.
Okay. So, Johan, you are actually first, my friend.
Okay, I run towards the thicket, having abandoned any idea of stealth,
Okay.
and hope that the rapier kebab idea works a second time, and I jump and try and stab into the thicket, hoping that it finds purchase. Am I close enough to do that?
To the thicket, yeah, for sure.
Cool. Why not then? I try and run ahead of him to try and shield him from any potential arrows. Jump over the thicket in anime style and plunge my rapier into the thicket.
Okay, roll to hit with disadvantage because you don't know exactly where you're striking at.
Righto. It's a natural 20!
Oh!
And
Can you do that twice, though? That's the question.
that's a 7.
It's a natural 20. It's a critical hit.
But it's disadvantage, though, right?
Advantage.
So,
Don't
7,
celebrate the time.
7 plus 5 is 12.
Okay. So you plunge your sword straight into the thicket, and you don't really feel much impact on the other side. It could be that the thicket's a bit thicker than you might have anticipated, perhaps.
This is a thick thicket.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
Now I stick it to the thicket.
Okay.
Now I've done that, I presume I try and look around to see if there's to see where they are. Can I do that?
Yeah, so to the left of you, there's a little bit of a kind of cut through going behind the hillside, between the hillside and the thicket. So you suspect that they might be kind of around there.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm in a sticky wicket now. Stick it to the thicket.
Okay.
I'll leave it there.
At that moment, you see a goblin rush out of the gap between the thicket and the hillside, looking to peg it for the cave, and runs directly into you, Thoric. He's very surprised to see you there. He has his short bow in hand because he wasn't expecting to get into close range with anybody. So he's going to try and fire off his short bow at you at close range, so with disadvantage.
Good morning.
That's still going to be 15 against your AC, though.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So he kind of panics, screams, fires this arrow off at you, and it just kind of flies off into the air because he wasn't really aiming very well out of his surprise. And so he's very much engaged with you now at the cave mouth. And then the other one, he fires off his arrow through the thicket, so he's also going to be firing off at disadvantage. Actually, no, let's do it as cover, so you get +5 to your AC. Sergey, this is being fired at. And just completely guffs it. With that's going to be 12 against your AC, which even without cover is probably going to miss, right?
My AC is 11, so it does technically hit.
Oh, okay. Well, because you've got cover, because he's firing through the thicket at you, it just kind of gets stuck in the thicket.
Oh my God.
You kind of see the arrowhead kind of poke out through like a branch of the thicket. So you see it, but it doesn't get any further than that. Okay,
Nice shot.
Saga, you're on the other side of the cave mouth, so you've just seen a goblin jump out and kind of really badly try and shoot at Thoric. What would you like to do?
So he's within range, right?
Oh, yeah. Well and
Okay,
truly.
well, he's gonna taste my greatsword.
Okay. So you're going to run up,
Yeah.
close the gap, and then swing at him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go for it.
Let's try. Well,
You swing at him, take an overhead shot, but he just slightly shifts out the way. Goblin's got a 15, unfortunately.
What?
Mm-hmm. Leather armor and shields. Okay, anything else you'd like to do? You've got a little bit of movement left if you wanted to move elsewhere, or...
I'll just stay there,
Sure.
ready for the next round.
Okay. Thoric. So you've got Saga at your side, a goblin engaged with you. He's got his short bow out, so he's not necessarily swinging anything at you, but what would you like to do?
Does that mean his AC is a bit lower because he's got his bow and arrow as opposed to the shield? I don't think that would have hit anyway.
It wouldn't have hit anyway. It would have taken it down to 13 still.
That's cool. Assuming that Johan is probably going to kill the other goblin, Thoric, seeing as this thing has literally just got a bow and arrow in his hand, can I, like, if we're right next to the cave, can I, like, I want to take my shield and I want to just basically crush the goblin against the wall.
Ooh.
To kind of like hurt him a bit, but also just restrain him, and then sort of I want to like dig the shield underneath his chin and be like, if you don't want your head stoved in, you're gonna do exactly what I say.
Okay, I'm going to give you the
And see if
option then of doing damage or rolling to restrain him.
I'm gonna restrain him.
Okay, so we'll do a standard roll to hit, I think.
Cool.
To see if you can at least get the shield in the right spot, and then if that succeeds, then he'll be restrained instead.
That is a 15.
Okay, so that manages it. So you get the shield kind of underneath his chin and kind of pin him up against the hillside. threatening him. Do you want to roll an intimidate?
I'd love to.
I think you can probably do that with advantage, seeing as you have him restrained.
Bless you. And Saga's there.
Yeah, as backup. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not very good at intimidating because of my -1 charisma, but that's a 12.
Okay.
Is there recognition? Does he understand what I'm saying?
Yes, he certainly understands what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I would say you see him kind of like, not relax so much as kind of give in to a degree that he's not going anywhere for now. So you certainly see that. Is there anything else you'd like to do at this point? Probably can't do much apart from move, really, which would kind of release him from
Yeah, no,
restraint.
I'll just like keep him wedged there and
Sure.
yeah, just sort of look over at Saga and sort of like get a reinforcement.
Okay, sure. Sergey, you are up. You're kind of in the midst of the stream at this point. You've just seen
Flashing around.
Johan stab into a thicket, and then you've seen Thoric kind of pin this goblin to the wall. What would you like to do?
Okay. Firstly, I'm going to use my bonus action to bardically inspire Johan. I'm just going to shout to him, Johan, do better. And then I'm going to run up. Do you feel inspired, Johan?
Strangely.
I'm going to run up and then join him at the thicket and try. Is there a way I can kind of. Do I see any goblins up here or.
So you stand by Johan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not really. It's a very, very thick thicket in front of you. The only other goblin that you can see is the one that Thoric's got pinned up against the wall.
Okay. Okay, yeah, in which case I'll kind of crouch by Johan and just, ready when you are. Take it away. I'll wait here. No pressure.
Fucking hell.
So that brings us to the top of the round then. So actually, Johan, you are next.
Just go to Sergey and try and stay with me. I may have need of you. Okay, I have a plan. I am going to attempt to draw the second goblin out with my intimidating multilingual shouts.
Right.
Uh,
So are you trying to persuade him to come out, or are you trying to intimidate him into
running back
running
towards-
for the cave? Right.
Yeah, because he would have to come through us to get to the cave, wouldn't he?
He'd have to go through Thoric and Saga from the positioning at the moment. You guys are on the other side of the thicket, really.
What I'm hoping is if
But
he
Saga
runs.
and Thoric are blocking the cave mouth at this point.
Cool. Right. What I'm thinking is I know how slippery these buggers can be, and I have some rope, and I am going to attempt to lasso
Bloody hell.
any fleeing goblins, pull them back to me, and then stabby.
Right. Okay. How's your dexterity?
Very good.
Very good.
Well, I should think so as a rogue, really.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going to attempt to draw him out first with my intimidating shouts.
Sure. Any particular... Are you going for common, or is it just every other language you've got?
No, I'm going to go for common this time.
Okay.
I'm going to say, "Come out, filth, and face your final judgment against my blade."
Okay. Give me an intimidation check.
That would be a 14.
Okay. Interesting. You hear what can only be described as mocking laughter from the other side of the thicket.
Shit.
Johan,
In which
they're
case-
mocking you.
I go, "Halfling with me," and barrel headlong into the thicket again.
Okay.
I like this.
Even though you know that the thicket is quite a thick thicket.
May I attempt to jump over the thicket onto the other side? Because I can acrobatics that or athletics that.
It's quite a.
A thick thicket.
It's a thick thicket, yeah. So
Johan,
it's going to
you could
take you
always
quite the
toss
leap
me.
to get. You might be able to
Hey.
get over the top, but you might not necessarily get over the other side.
I hear the halfling's cry, and I pick him up by the scruff.
Oh God!
really?
And I go, not a word. and I attempt to throw him.
Okay,
Over
can you
the
give
thicket.
me? Can you give me an athletics check, please? Jesus.
That is a nat 20.
Oh! What's your strength?
My strength is 12.
Nice. Okay, so you grab Sergey by the scruff of the neck and just fling him over. Sergey, you pass over the top of the thicket and land about 10 feet from where you took off. Onto the other side of the thicket, you land on kind of these boards. This has very much been set up from what you can see in this brief glimpse as a lookout point. Yeah, and you see a disbelief look on the face of this goblin that is now looking at you. He's got his bow drawn, and a look of panic on his face. It is, however, the goblin's turns now.
Johan, this was a bad idea.
So, first of all, we've got the goblin that is pinned up against the wall.
Don't
He
do it.
is he is going to try and release himself from your grip. He doesn't look like necessarily he's wanting to necessarily hurt you, but certainly wanting to get out of there. So let's do a contested strength check, shall we?
Let's. 16 from me.
0 for the goblin. So he kind of like pushes against you and kind of realizes very quickly this is over
No.
for him. It's just not going to happen. So he kind of pushes against you, and then you just kind of see his arms drop by his side as he's just kind of like.
Good lads.
The other goblin, however, is now face to face with Sergey, who has just been hurled over the top of this thick thicket, and he is going to fire off his bow at you in a panic, much like the other goblin did to Thoric. So with disadvantage because of the short range of it, and that is going to be 7 against your AC.
Yes, my AC is 11. So
Hey,
finally.
So he fires it off at you, but you kind of see it coming and just kind of sidestep it as the arrow flies off and hits the hillside above you. He then... Oh, I can't remember now. Somebody might have to remind me on this. If you are drawing a weapon, is that a bonus action? Or is that an action?
Up to you as DM.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, no, Oh, yeah, go on.
No, I was going to say, I think per the rules as set down by those on high, it might be an action. But you possibly remember you saying something about a bonus action, Wayne. Possibly.
I'm trying to remember myself now how I ruled this before. Let me just have a quick look and see if I can see anything.
I mean, if it works both ways, it just speeds up combat.
I think the way I've ruled it, and I think this might be close to how it's written, I think either dropping a weapon or drawing a weapon is... Oh, sorry, sheathing a weapon or drawing a weapon is a bonus action. So to do both would take... So to put the bow away and to draw it would be 2 bonus actions. To draw a sword, for example, would be 2 bonus actions. So you could drop the weapon, which is a free action, and then draw. I think that's how I've ruled it in the past. So I'm going to go with that for now, and then I'm going to have to look it up at some point between sessions.
That seems fair.
Just, so he's going to drop the bow, and then draw a scimitar. So his bow's on the floor. Yeah. Saga. This goblin is
Okay.
now pinned up against the wall.
Yeah.
So you've seen Sergei fly over the thicket behind you. What would you like to do?
Can I see the goblin that's next to Sergei? Is it far?
You can see. Yeah, I'd say you could see behind the thicket at this point from where you're stood. Yeah, just about. You can just kind of see.
Okay, so I can't.
Just kind of on the periphery of the thicket. You
But I
can't
can't
see.
reach it in one.
You could move in and reach it. I think. Yeah.
I could move in and attack.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to
Found
Thoric
them
and go.
out.
You've got him. So and then I'm gonna go to.
Oh,
the other.
aye.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna go up and try to go slashy slash.
Yeah. I'm actually really rooting for you here. So.
Me too.
Yes, me too, please.
If we can't beat two
There we
goblins,
go.
we're fine.
Hey!
Yay! Okay, so you swing your sword at the goblin. Let's see what damage you do.
Well.
Oh! Well, that makes up for lost time, I think.
Yes.
How are you finishing him?
I'm gonna skewer him.
Through the stomach, through the chest?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Okay,
To the chest. Nina.
nice. So you look back at Thoric, see that he's got it all under control. Thoric nods at you with acknowledgement. You charge in, see Sergei engaged with this goblin, and you just charge in and just plunge your sword straight through the heart of this goblin, and it just kind of falls limp on the end of your sword. Nice. Okay. So
My bonus action is just to, with my boots, scrape it off my sword.
nice, nice.
That was terrifying.
Given that the other
You're
goblin
welcome.
has all, oh sorry, given that the other goblin is all but given up, I think we can probably come out of initiative at this point, unless anybody has any particular desires to murder that goblin.
Well, I can't see this happen, presumably. So I run round and I see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, to Saga, see what you did there. But also a little blue-balled because I did not get to murder the goblin. But then I turn back towards the cave and see one being restrained and decide, oh, this is going to be fun.
So, is your intention to take that goblin out?
No. I see
Oh,
a
okay.
potential for interrogation.
Okay. All right. I'll take us out of initiative then. In that case,
I
And
can
br-
be very intimidating.
We'll
To
leave
what?
it to. Shall we leave it to the other two?
Okay.
If he hasn't already, I would just say to the goblin, drop your weapons.
and you see him kind of drop the bow next to him on the floor.
And then I kind of shove him and like grab him by the back of the neck, and take him away from the entrance to the cave towards the other three, and just sort of take him somewhere that he's not going to be where we're not going to be overheard by the cave immediately
Okay.
if someone came looking.
Sure. So you grab the goblin, take him aside, and out of the way where you're not going to be ambushed by any more, and get ready for whatever you have in store for him.